The UMI or Vanuatu Cooperative remain an important organization. No economic organization, no involvement. Every citizen's no economic activity. It may remain one important organization for all the producers, SEMAC, all the consumers, and especially Vanuatu, where the vulnerable today, disaster shocks. Cooperative remain one important organization, the system, you share knowledge. And two, you start preparing before and then after the disaster, when you start combating them and URI. Tinggal two country long Pacific, but mulai katanya, Vanuatu and one for PNG, community bisa setahun lebih baik. Dengan harapan awal insurance cycle, we may want some PNG, bisa presiden dan program. And the things that must contribute to encouragement of cooperatives, especially organizing of the producers or consumers. So in one system, the main system is for the economy. They would prohibition, extension knowledge about whatever is our help the UV and sustainability. No, it is an honor to be addressing the cooperatives in Vanuatu and worldwide this morning. And it is also a great to know that Vanuatu will be the first to observe the International Cooperative Day today, the 7th of July 2018. I would like to thank the International Cooperative Alliance, and in particular the Asia Pacific region, for the Office of the Regional Director, Mr. Bag, for his generous and transparent approach in helping Vanuatu first far with its membership and involvement in the International Cooperative Alliance. For all that ended yesterday, I also want to further thank him for relaying the support through ICA for the help and message Vanuatu received of the COOP devastation in 2015. Your help together with the help of the other countries and all our partners have enabled Vanuatu government to recover and regroup its development agenda, both politically and economically, in addressing the more important sectors and its 272,000 population. I wish to thank the presence of International Cooperative Alliance, Asia Pacific and the Pacific countries who are present here, and the international organization who participate in the forum on the development of cooperative in the Pacific Islands post-ETA fulfillment. Vanuatu over the last 2 days and also celebrating International Cooperative Day with us here. Thank you sincerely and thank you for your precious presence. We really appreciate it. Let me begin by saying that Vanuatu has shaped and integrated the 17 SDGs into the agendas, and it's become more evident when I recently launched, it was last year, the Vanuatu National Sustainable Development Plan, or we call it also People's Plan. With that covers 3 main pillars: society pillar, environment pillar, and economic pillar, of which cooperatives are expected to make a significant contribution and impact. I should also like to make it clear at the outset that even though cooperatives was introduced around 1960s in Vanuatu, and it became a significant political tool to help us to gain our political independence in 1980 from France and Britain, it has failed to live up to the general expectation that it would be a foundation for our economic self-reliance. The government has a large dedicated department of cooperatives, whose role is to facilitate the establishment of cooperatives in all sectors and to use the network of cooperatives to drive the economy, in particular in the rural areas and in villages and farms. Currently, we see 356 active cooperatives in the areas of agriculture, livestock, producers, transport, savings and loans, fisheries, and retail and consumer businesses. I am delighted to announce that women play a very significant role in the operation of the 356 active cooperatives in the country today, on which 219 are active cooperatives in the country today and are managed by women. Congratulations to the women. The growth rate of cooperatives over the last 8 years is 6.4%, which constitutes of 30.8% growth in employment and 11.8% growth in membership. The growth indicators include the increase of annual cooperative turnover, profits, and in dividends and savings shares among members. Cooperatives have turned away from seeking donor support, but getting into partnership with non-government organizations, thus addressing gender issues, women and youth in business in areas of fisheries, agriculture, handicrafts, construction, and transport.
This day marks the 96th International Cooperative Day and the 24th United Nations International Day of Cooperatives. We are delighted to be here and more happy that we'll be among the first to be celebrating the International Day of Cooperatives. And throughout the day, joining us would be 1.2 billion members who are part of the international cooperative movement. And so we are delighted to be here. Why does responsible consumption and production matter? And this is the theme, sustainable consumption and production of goods and services. According to the United Nations, if the global population reaches 9.6 billion by 2050, we will need the equivalent of 3 planets to sustain our current lifestyles. But we don't have 3 planets, we just have one. In order to achieve economic growth and sustainable development, we need to change the way we produce goods and the way we consume goods. And another reason why this topic is important is the magnitude of food waste at the retail and consumer level and food losses. According to the FAO, 1/3 of the food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted globally. That amounts to 1.3 billion tons per year. And this is a travesty of justice when we consider that almost 800 million people go hungry in a planet that produces goods for everyone. So I think this is a big challenge in front of us in terms of how we are going to manage. And it's not a question of producing more food. With globalization, urbanization, commercialization, there have been significant changes to the agriculture and food systems. But the challenge is that the benefits have not been uniform. Not included in these are small-holder producers, women, youth in a number of countries. And these are a majority of the members of the cooperative movement. So celebrating SDG 12, sustainable consumption and production, it calls on all of us to change our behavior as we are not consuming or producing sustainably. Cooperatives have an important role to play in SDG 12 as the core of our membership consists of small and medium farmers and women, and the preponderance of cooperatives are in the agriculture and consumer sector. So it's the intersection of agriculture and consumer is where cooperatives have an important role to play. the efficient management of natural resources, reduction of waste, sustainable patterns of consumption can help with food security and help the shift towards resource-efficient economy. As value-based and principle-driven organizations, cooperative enterprises are by nature sustainable and participatory form of business. Cooperatives foster democratic knowledge and practices and social inclusion, and they have shown resilience in the face of economic and financial crisis. There is a strong case for investing in cooperatives given the multi-dimensional nature of returns, economic, social and environmental, through a business enterprise rooted in collective action. And in the past 2 days, we've gathered here and we've seen numerous examples from members from Australia, New Zealand, Nepal, Indonesia, and the Pacific Islands, Papua New Guinea, Kiribati, Fiji, and of course Vanuatu. And especially here in Vanuatu, the commitment to cooperatives from the highest level, I think shows the direction for many other countries that cooperatives have an important role to play, not only in mobilizing people, but in ensuring sustainable consumption and production of resources. ICF President Ariel Guarco in his message said, on the International Day of Cooperatives, we are going to show the world that it is possible to grow with democracy, equity and social justice, that our societies cannot continue wasting resources and excluding people, that we must improve the present and preserve the future for the next generation, and that we are proud to be part of this movement, a movement with values and principles, a movement committed to social justice and environmental sustainability. Let's join him and the 1.2 billion members across the world to show our commitment to build sustainable societies through cooperation. And again, a very happy International Day of Cooperatives.
The theme for the International Cooperative Day, Sustainable Consumption and Protection, is what the theme for this forum. The theme Sustainable Consumption and Protection presents a platform with opportunities where cooperatives can show how they run successful businesses with respect to resources available to them. Coupled with the slogan of the day, Sustainable Societies Through Cooperation, co-opters from around the world will come to appreciate the policy frameworks that are in place and to learn how cooperatives contribute to more sustainable and resilient societies and can work towards including cooperatives in policy processes related with sustainable issues. One might question, why this theme? And as echoed by the ICA, cooperatives have sustainability in their DNA, with concern from community as the seventh of the guiding principles. Cooperatives have 2 centuries of experience building sustainable and resilient societies. Among the examples, agricultural cooperatives work to maintain the longevity of the land where they grow crops through sustainable farming practices. Consumer cooperatives support sustainable sourcing for their products and educate consumers about responsible consumption. Housing cooperatives, however, help ensure safe dwelling. Cooperatives bank contribute to sustainability thanks to the clients and provide access to finance at local level and are widespread, even in remote areas. Utility cooperatives are engaged in the transition to cleaner electricity and rural access to energy and water. Water and social cooperatives in the diverse sector, health, communication, and tourism aim to provide food and services in an efficient and planet-friendly way, while creating long-term sustainable jobs. Through Co-op Day, local and global policymakers can learn how cooperatives contribute to a more sustainable and resilient societies and work towards including cooperatives in policy processes related to sustainability issues. This in itself presents a cooperative difference. This difference can be identified in cooperation among cooperatives, which can result in mutual benefits across the supply chain. Cooperatives put the need of the members and communities first before maximizing the profit. Cooperatives have a ripple effect in communities, with educating the public about the importance of sustainable consumption. Cooperatives also set benchmarks as an important part of achieving consumption and production. A good way to understand the cooperatives' difference is to learn from cooperatives making change happen in their communities. Cooperatives contribute to sustainable consumption and production by ensuring sustainability along the supply chain. In fact, by nature, cooperatives play a triple role. As economic actors, they create opportunities for jobs, livelihood, and income generation. As people-centered enterprises with social goals, they contribute to social equity and justice. As democratic institutions, they are controlled by their members, playing a leading role in society and local communities. These three roles cannot be dissociated from one another because they are inherent to the very nature of cooperatives. It must be acknowledged that the principles that govern cooperatives are a unique charter that crosses cultures, politics, languages, and religion. Hence, these principles are used when one intends to measure sustainability. One can question, do cooperatives walk the talk? Do cooperatives walk the talk? As global attention focuses on the challenge of sustainable development, cooperatives can and must play a key role as creative enterprise expanding into new and innovative areas, and this is the work of Gay, rather the Director General of ILO. As has been echoed in the forum on the development of cooperatives, what if? As the Minister responsible for cooperatives, I would like to say we can do it. If the Nepalese can do it, we can do it.
As you know, and as many of us are learning from other advanced countries like Australia, New Zealand, China, Vietnam especially, we know well, and my minister knows very well, that cooperative is the only economic vehicle to empower our people in Papua New Guinea. We are happy to be part of this celebration of the International Cooperative Day, and we're looking forward to work with the ICAAP in the region. I said thank you to Maslong Vanuatu to host this, as this is also Papua New Guinea's first appearance in the ICCA cooperative meeting, and we're looking forward for more in the region. Thank you very much.
When working together, people can do great things. And we see that across the world in cooperative businesses, with countries pulling together in times of difficulty. And I know that with the enthusiasm and support of your neighbours, the cooperative sector can develop and build a stronger region for all of you. Thank you very much.
The cooperative sector in New Zealand is around about a fifth of our economy, about a fifth of GDP on revenues generated by cooperatives and mutuals. A business model that's all about endurance, survival, sustainability, economic, environmental and social sustainability. Of our members, around 2/3 are over 25 years old. 5 of those organisations are over 100 years old. They're dominated by Fonterra, the dairy industry of New Zealand, with about 85% of the country's milk processed by Fonterra, but also other large agri-producer exporters of meat and Alliance Group, Silver Fern Farms, of Zespri with kiwi fruit, and other produce and fisheries, horticulture, wineries, etc. So a business model that's about endurance and trusted products and brands and services. Exactly what New Zealand needs for strength as a nation, whereby its people can trust the products and brands of cooperatives that have been here for decades and even centuries.
Manans has been an active player of cooperative in the past, but then the majority of the cooperatives went into liquidations or went out to just wander. In that note, we are struggling to revive the cooperative movement in some islands, and through these interactions to cooperative forum and learning from lessons from other Pacific islands, Asia countries, and especially our big player of Australia, we may have some support to cooperate and help us to develop our national cooperative policy framework so that we could manage to revive the cooperative movement in some islands.
हामीलाई गर्व छ विश्वमा वर्ल्डमा सबभन्दा ठुलो संगठन सहकारी हो र त्यो सहकारीको संगठनको आज हामीले 96औं सहकारी दिवस आज भानुवतीमा बसेर हामी मनाउन सफल भएका छौं। यो संसारको ठुलो जनसंख्यालाई प्रतिनिधित्व गर्ने सहकारी महासंघले विश्वमा वर्ल्डमा ठुलो काम गरिरहेको छ र फेरि भोलिका दिनमा पनि यसले धेरै महत्त्वपूर्ण काम गर्नेछ। यसले विश्वको जनतालाई म 4-5 वटा कुरा भन्न चाहन्छु। यसले एक नम्बरमा जनतालाई चेतना बढाउने कामहरू गरेको छ, चेतना दिने कामहरू गरेको छ। सिप प्रविधि र पुँजी दिने कामहरू गरेको छ र किसानले उत्पादन गरेको वस्तुहरूको बजारको लागि पनि यसले वास्तवमा संसारभरिको जनतालाई यो कोअपरेटिभको मार्फतबाट चाहिँ आफै सस्टेन हुने चाहिँ बाटोतिर यसले अगाडि बढाइरहेको छ, आत्मनिर्भर बन्ने कामहरू गरेको छ।